Hey, Chris, good to see you.
Good to see you again, mate.
Yeah. And good to everyone joining us today. This is another episode of Growing E-commerce. I'm one of your hosts, Mike. With me is
Chris.
I just said your name. There
It's
is.
a pleasure, man.
It's always a pleasure, Chris.
And we stick to our routine again, right?
Yeah, for sure. We're in production mode. We'll be bringing episodes.
With a dark January. For reasons we talked about the last episode, but now we are fully back on track.
Absolutely.
And topics get better.
They will. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, every week.
Every
Progressively better.
Let's see. But UCP was a big one last episode.
That's right.
The minor protocol we talked about. But I think the topics today are somehow related. Somehow.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Let's do the segue. This is on you.
Okay. I'm in charge of segues on this show
all the time, man.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, we're still early in the new year. Okay. And I think that, talking about UCP, one thing that I'm concerned about these platforms having a huge amount of ownership. It feels like the walled gardens are getting bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're pushing the boundaries of those walls out to encompass potentially all of e-commerce.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this could, if consumer adoption is good, it could trigger a next wave of e-commerce growth. Mm-hmm. This is something Roman and I were just talking about the other day, by the way, but my concern is that the spoils of that or the profits of that are going to disproportionately go to the platforms. Mm-hmm. So I think that it's going to be, e-commerce is already hard from a profit game, and it's going to be even harder. And I don't know, I feel like there are myths or practices. Some of these have been around for years, and it would be really time that we kind of leave them in the past. Yes. Because this is a wake-up call, in my opinion.
It's a wake-up call, and maybe I can add another perspective to that. Because last episode we talked about the UCP, and it's basically this confirmation that Google is going also the direction to this final end state, target state, the zero-click buying environment. We talked about that many times last year. The future of e-commerce, we call it. There's also a graph, maybe we can show it, where these two lines intersect sometime, and the ecosystem as we know it right now will not disappear, but it will be fundamentally less relevant. Mm-hmm. But we also talked last episode that this is not a speedboat, and it's not happening overnight, and it will take time. And I feel somehow the danger that due to this hype, a lot of decision makers are now forcing the teams to focus on that new big thing, which is big, but it's not happening overnight. And all the other rather tactical but super important shit, with regards to your main campaigns such as PMax, it's just not as important anymore. And I think this is also somehow the connection to what we talked about last year. Yeah. Don't lose your focus on the things which matter now.
Yeah.
And I think there are still massive flaws and myths out there how to manage your paid search campaigns, especially PMax. And I think it's worth to talk about them. Yeah. And I think there are a couple of them which are really still out there, and I don't get it why. Yeah. Honestly speaking.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a great point, by the way. I just even if UCP and like agentic shopping and all this stuff would go so vertical right now, ads are not going anywhere. Ads will be in these properties as well. Yes. The campaign types that we know right now are not going anywhere in the near term.
Yes.
There's still going to be shopping campaigns. There's still going to be PMax campaigns, search campaigns. Google is retrofitting them a bit, like AI Max for search, etc. But this stuff is still the fundamentals at the moment.
And guess what? It's still the core product of Google. And this won't change for sure the next couple of years. So I think it's worth to talk about these myths, and we're not tired of bringing them up because it's hurting the performance of online retailers. And not every myth is that easy to fix or to understand, but let's talk about them.
Sure. We brought 5 with us, but we're on a little tight time box. Let's see how many we can get through.
Let's see. Mm-hmm. By the way, one thing I have to say, congrats to the registration numbers of your webinar.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
When was it? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. With Ginny. Yeah. Exactly. Well,
you cracked the 800?
Yeah.
Man, I have to bring it up because I can remember the first webinar Smart eCommerce did. I stumbled across a photo.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rainer Deinwagen. I don't know because he's not with us anymore, but we had 25 registrants and we were super happy about it. We were happy about it.
Yeah.
We had the old school headsets on. And I show you the photo.
I see that.
And I saw the number 800 registrants. Man, this is Champions League, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Well, yeah, I mean,
shout out to everyone. Smack you, marketing team. It's awesome.
Yeah, appreciate it. I mean, so just for listeners who don't know, I had a conversation with Ginny Marvin, and we talked about PMax. So that I was just mentioning, Ginny Marvin is let's face it, she's the top ad spokesperson for Google, and that's 80% of their revenue, and they're valued at $4 trillion.
She's quite a status.
So yeah, so I actually, all the credit is due to Ginny.
You need a dancing partner.
No, but yeah, so we had a great chat about that, and it's on YouTube. You can go check it out on our YouTube channel. Yeah.
Sorry for off-railing our conversation, but let's go back to the myths.
Yeah, all right. No, thanks. Let's start. You want to run?
Of course, because this is one of my favorite myths.
Yeah,
and we're still facing it.
Do you know, it was like 2 years ago, probably, I did a whole 45-minute monologue on this topic. Actually,
I know.
Yeah,
but it was not big enough because the myth is still out.
No,
there.
I said some of these things. The next one too has been around. So hold on, let's just cut to the chase.
Myth one. Heroes and zombies. And why is this so important to me? Because there is a fundamental logical flaw in it. And I would like to tackle this today together with you. And look, to all the listeners and out there, we are quite big in what we do. So we have a good new client acquisition pace. So we are constantly in contact with big online retailers about helping them to do their PMax paid search more efficiently, more effectively, whatsoever. Part of that is that we analyze a lot of accounts. So we see hundreds of times a year that big advanced players sometimes still are very, very heavily focusing on the idea to have this heroes zombies approach. And this is what really is hurting me, because there is a flaw in that approach. Mike, you're the expert. What's your take on it?
Well, let's outline what we're talking.
What it is.
What we're talking about here. Heroes and zombies, also known as bleeders and leaders. I can't remember. I've seen different names for it.
Stars and poor dogs.
Yeah, it was originally the BCG matrix.
Portfolio.
This goes back years back, and someone this was a tactic on Amazon before it became popular on Google Shopping and Google PMax. But the idea is to basically create a 4-box model or matrix of volume and efficiency. So basically low volume, high volume on one axis, and low efficiency, high efficiency, or ROAS on the other. And so the idea here is that you can kind of wake up your zombie products, or there's a lot of products on Google Ads that are not going to get as many impressions, not going to get as many clicks, and therefore not get as much conversion. And part of that is just a fundamental of the channel, or of any channel actually, but Google Ads is a demand capture channel. It matches products against search volume. And if there's no search volume for a given product or category, there will not be a lot of impressions or clicks for that. So some of that is fundamental, and some of it can be a shortcoming of Google's algorithms and stuff like that, your structure. So it's an area where you can bend that curve, but you can never change it. And then you'll have your kind of unsung hero type products and your hero products and stuff like that. It's a way of just classifying your products, making, I guess, 4 campaigns and letting it run.
Yes. What is the big issue there from your perspective?
There are a few big issues.
Yeah. There's more than one. Yeah, fair enough. Or should I start with?
You can start. Go for it, Chris.
Kill me for it. But this approach, it's very much one-dimensional. You just look at basically historical performance, product performance.
Yeah.
Which for sure is not going to make the cut from our perspective, because historical product performance is by its design leading you into a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because the accounts we see is there's this zombie bucket, and this zombie bucket are products with low demand, low performance, you might call it. The issue there is that these zombies are most of the time a very big chunk of your product portfolio, because that's the nature of the game you play, right? Especially PMax, it's a lazy campaign type focusing on the top sellers. And every online retailer wants to grow. Where's the incremental growth? Yeah, it's certainly not within your top seller, because that's what PMax is good at. And you max out what you have there. So actually, it should be rather the long tailish part of your product assortment.
Yeah, that's what needs advertising pressure.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is in your zombie bucket, where most of the retailers put low budget on and very restrictive ROAS, because these are the bad kids of the block. And I'm like, where should the growth come from? And another major flaw, sorry, I'm emotional talking about this. Another major flaw is, and this is really a real thing, new products by design will end up in a bucket, maybe zombie, or a bucket where low efficiency because there is none, it's a new product, and low volume because it's a new product again. So you lead your whole account into a massive self-fulfilling prophecy. And I'm not talking about that product performance shouldn't be a part of your campaign structure strategy, but not the only one, and not done this way.
Yeah.
And I hate this approach. I hate that it's still out there. I hate that all the scripts praise themselves that this is the holy grail, because it's not. And it's a myth, and I don't like it.
Tell us how you really feel.
Sorry, but what's your take on it?
Well, here I come in. I'm Mr. Even Keel.
Nah, come on.
Be
on my side, man. At least one.
I'm on your side. But I'm just,
No, even it out. Fair enough.
Yeah. No. I don't have anything to. I agree fully with what you said. Spit it out, Mike.
I know it's hard.
That's not even going to.
Chris, I agree with you.
It's like that. I told you that message I got from Steffi where she was like,
I hate to say it.
Oh, I hate to say it, but it's like, I was right about something, wasn't I? But anyway, no, you're totally right. No, I just want to say I'm just, I don't usually get hot under the collar about it, but there are several problems here. It's exactly as you said. I mean, it's great. What's good about this is that these products are not in a campaign with like bestsellers where they're competing, they're getting starved of oxygen. They can at least get a dedicated budget. But you need to actually be willing to invest in them. So you're going to have to like ease up on that ROAS target. You're going to have to grant it a certain budget, or nothing will change. They're not going to be efficient, at least not like, you have to really look at them as a group as well, and not as individual products. But there's just other things like, how do you exactly set the thresholds? The thresholds here. How do you set the thresholds? That's actually non-trivial. And the reality is that there's like a fifth quadrant in any type of quadrant analysis usually, which are question marks, things that are not stable. So as you said too, it's based on historical data. Google's actually, believe it or not, their algorithm is also based on historical data. They're working on this. I guess there's a concern that if something didn't perform well once, that it gets doomed to never perform or something like that. There's a bit of fact and fiction there, I think. But it's really a form of double optimization, because Google is already looking at the performance and working on that. You need to do something different.
Yes. On top, incremental.
Exactly. Now, like, I mean, the way we think about it, first off, is to view things more multidimensionally.
Please.
So that you're not, it's fine if you want to consider this, but you should consider other things too, because it's insufficient.
Where's the strategic layer, right? If it's really just volume and return on ad spend, let's say, where are your business objectives reflected? Let alone the problem of the self-fulfilling prophecy, and the fact that these scripts, most of them are static. So once a product is in a bucket, setting the right thresholds, there are so many problems. But the strategic data layer, is it really just about volume and ROAS? I hope for all the listeners, there's more to it. So yes, I co-sign that.
One would hope.
One would hope. Yeah, sure.
But but I mean, and the other thing is like, as I said, this fact and fiction thing about these things, like, it's very hard to discern which of these are stinkers and are going to stay that way forever, and which of them actually have potential, because individually none of them have enough data. They might have no clicks to make a decision on at all. Let's say it has one click let's say that it has like, I don't know, 50 clicks and one conversion. You don't have a statistically you don't have a statistically valid way of making decisions. So that's a huge problem.
Another thing, and maybe we can, because it's emotional dragging.
Go for it.
We go then to myth number 2. I'm not that emotionally attached. But
I'm emotionally attached to myth number 2. Yeah.
Yes, let's go.
All right.
But one final statement about myth 1. Kill me for it, but I think a lot of online retailers have seasonality. I assume. How, like, again, so setting the thresholds, and what period of time are you calculating the thresholds? I assume you have products which are in the off season are just stinkers.
Yeah.
And the static approach to this concept, like I said, another flaw, I think, and to all listeners out there, please overthink that.
Yeah.
And if you have no clue how to overthink it, talk to us or to any other experts out there. There are a lot of people who, by the way, co-sign what we're talking about here now.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, my pal Chris Gutknecht,
I love him, man.
Yeah, he's great at Bergzeit. He he's on the retailer side, and he gave an excellent presentation a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago.
CI Camp, I think.
Yeah, exactly. At this really nice German search marketing conference, and he gave a killer presentation about this topic.
By the way, shout out to Mr. Gutknecht. What he's doing at Bergzeit.
He's been on this podcast before.
Yeah. No, really. Great online shop, great guy. They know what they're doing.
Yes.
All right.
So
myth number 2, you're emotionally attached to that.
Yeah. Margin splits.
Tell me why this wakes you up, man.
Well, when I got started in this business, margin splits were advanced. Margin splits were
was the holy grail.
Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah, it was a big deal. And the idea behind this is that you basically take your products and you look at the gross profit margin percentage, not the gross profit, for each item, and then you can create some bins. So you can have whatever looks nice, a bin for 0 to 5% or 0 to 10%, and then 10 to 20%, whatever, and onwards. And then you can use this as a campaign structuring tool, and you can set different ROAS targets and budgets for those different bins.
Sounds
well. It's but I'm also, I don't want to be judgmental. I don't want to be gatekeeper-y. I think every step that you take in the direction of making your campaigns more profitable is good, and having your margin data reflected in your product feed through a custom label or actually submitting your cost of goods sold. This is overall a great step that's very informative.
Right direction.
Yeah,
for
sure. But the problem with these margin buckets is that it's again one-dimensional. You're segmenting your campaigns just on one dimension, or you might combine it with a category or something like that, but it's still a simplistic model. And the other thing is that I think, as I said earlier, people choose buckets that look nice, or that perhaps their chief financial officer handed down to them. Like
the CFOs love that approach, by the way.
Yeah,
I know for sure.
Yeah, I know too. I'll tell you a story about that because I've seen this absolutely destroy businesses. And this is why now I'm going to start getting it, because I tried to change someone's mind. I tried so hard to help them, and I couldn't.
Okay.
But the problem is that, basically, people look at this like they'll make a very simple buckets that make sense, kind of like 5 to 10% or whatever. These kind of things, or 0. It doesn't matter, but they choose these nice even percentages, and then they don't actually think about how their data might be distributed amongst that. And the simplest thing that you can do is make a histogram to understand, okay, where is the distribution of profitability, and then you map that, by the way, okay, here's the distribution of products within that. What is the distribution of my conversions against these buckets? Because this stuff matters.
Yes.
Because like Google doesn't care what your gross profit margin is. And that's why it's great to bring the information into the conversation. But you need to reconcile this. So I'll put a couple examples up on screen for people who are watching. But in one example, and I pulled these from the wild, so this is stuff that I see. There's they had 10% increments in gross margin buckets, and you can see the way their products are distributed there. It's distributed mostly in the 20 to 30% bucket and the 30 to 40% bucket, which is not surprising. That's a common gross profit margin range for e-commerce. And then their conversions, though, are almost entirely concentrated in one single bucket. So this information alone is insufficient for segmenting. There's not enough variation in there. It doesn't matter. Or you'd have to drill down that 30 to 40% bucket. Does this really make sense? I don't probably think so.
Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. May I add something here?
Sure.
Maybe just another angle. And again, also from the wild, not data-driven, but based on conversations I have and what I've seen in these hundreds of account analysis we did the last couple of years. Because there's the approach on the one hand, and then there is how it is executed on the other hand. What I also see most of the time is that, again, because it's one-dimensional, it's leading to kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. What do I mean? If you have, let's say, a high margin bucket and a low margin bucket, what the CFO wants is clear. Push the high margin products. But if you just cluster based on the criteria high margin, there might be a lot of stinkers in there. There might be a lot of products in there no one is interested in.
Yes.
So you mix good products with bad products based on the feedback from the market, right? And you try to steer them one way, which is aggressively pushing into market because you have high margins there. But you have a lot of products in there which are not supporting your strategic business goals, which are just not demanded, and so forth. So again, because it's one-dimensional, you're leaving out a lot of information which is highly relevant to Google.
Yes.
Am I right here? Because again, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is like, our philosophy on this, we believe in scoring your products.
And multidimensional. It has to be one factor.
Yeah, exactly. A balance of multiple things. You can just quantify this into a simple score, and you don't need huge amounts of account complexity. You can have a relatively simple campaign structure with, like, for just in a dumb example, just high, medium, low score, just like that.
Yeah.
And then different products can end up in those campaigns for totally different reasons.
For different reasons.
Exactly.
That's the point. And another thing, maybe just one last thing, because again, sorry to talk out of butt here sometimes, but it's the conversation. The CFOs love that structure for obvious reasons, but the CFO has sorry to all the CFOs listeners, but they have fair enough, they have no clue what's going on in the Google universe.
You just lost us one follower. one follower, Chris.
Follower. By the way,
there was one CFO following this podcast, and
we lost him.
Yeah.
Sorry for that. But I know him, and I give him a call, and I say sorry. No, just kidding. But because the buckets are based on relative margin, right? A 5% to 15% bucket. So it's fair. You make more margin with a product in relative terms. But what it is all about at some point of time is the absolute margin creation, right?
Yeah.
And if I can sell way more low margin products because there's the demand in the market, it has to be balanced.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, it's
yeah.
I'm wrong. I'm also emotionally attached to this one.
See, but that's a great point, because then you're maximizing your percentage margin, which this can lead to a death by optimization scenario.
Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
Death by optimization. Yeah. We have to leave it there. It can't get any better.
Exactly. I mean, I have a couple more scenarios here. I just want to run through one real quick.
Yes, go ahead.
I just showed you a case where there wasn't enough variance in their margins. Now I'm showing a case where they're using 0 to 5% buckets, and
I don't know.
They have looks like kind of a bell curve type distribution in here, mostly concentrated around 25 to 30%, which is a typical e-commerce margin. It makes sense. But the thing is that their conversions split. It's also bell curve shape, but the bell curves don't perfectly overlap. It's like having double vision. And the conversions are weighted toward all of the lower margin products. So there's more conversions amongst those, and there's less. And that's because there's another factor here, again, multidimensional. There's this invisible hand of pricing. Their prices are presumably more attractive on this, so they have to reconcile those things.
Yes. And by the way, which makes perfect sense, right? If you're pricing more aggressively, your margin is probably lower. But and this is the margin volume game, which is completely left out there.
Yeah.
Lower the prices, less margin, but more volume overall, more absolute margin.
So this was hot shit in 2016, but it's 2026 now. It's 10 years later.
And still, a lot of retailers think this is the way to go. And ladies and gents, I promised myself to be more bold this year. It is not.
Good.
We can leave it there. Mike.
That was very bold of you, Chris.
It is not. But we explained why it is not, right?
Yes.
So, Mike, we have a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to have to skip my CFO example, but I showed them beautifully in data how they
already left the building, CFO, so you can talk openly now.
I showed beautifully in data how they were destroying this whole account.
Yes.
By over-segmenting by margin, and they didn't change it. So.
Maybe we do an episode about the most awkward and substantial, maybe also substantial discussions we had with decision makers.
Where they just didn't listen.
not just CFOs, no, but it could be a good topic. Because sometimes really interests of certain, I don't know, decision makers or departments of the company are really massively interfering with what should actually be done in a Google Ads account.
Yes, that's right.
I think we have a rich history here where it's really about balancing these interests.
Yeah.
Mike, do we have enough time for one more myth or?
One more. What do you want to do, Chris?
One where we are both not emotionally attached to it.
I care about all of these so much.
Me too, unfortunately. ROAS could be a quick one, or
yeah, but I feel okay. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah,
or shopping and PMax and either or. Also interesting.
Yeah, maybe let's go with that one. Okay.
Yes, I feel like there's more to it.
Okay. Myth.
I do the intro.
All right.
At least one intro.
Okay.
And you just jump on.
I'm game.
So I have to look for the myth now. Here we go. Myth number 3 we want to tackle today as part of our beloved podcast. PMax versus shopping, standard shopping. Is it an either or decision?
Yeah.
And for a lot of people it is, but myth. Yeah. Come on, let's go.
Well, and by the way, this is something like some of our myths on here used to be true, and they're not anymore. Yeah. And this, I actually spoke with the Google product manager years back when they were starting to roll out PMax, or was still in beta or whatever, and we're talking about this default priority that PMax had, and they told me back then that there were no plans to sunset shopping, because that's what everyone was wondering back then. Will standard shopping campaigns go away? And they said that's not going to happen, but we want there to be an either or decision. If you want to keep using standard shopping, you can, but it is an either or decision between PMax and standard shopping. And boy, that's must be 18 months ago or so now that default priority of PMax went away. And we've received decks from our Google partners kind of advocating or highlighting use cases of PMax shopping hybrid setups, which I fell out of my chair the first time that I saw
when you forwarded to me.
I probably said, Chris, I just fell out of my chair. You will too. And also very recently, it's a little thing in the user interface, but when you're creating a new shopping campaign, that you'd choose, I want to focus on the shopping channel. And then Google would say, try PMax. And they stopped doing that default behavior now. They're letting you, if you say, I want to do shopping, you can choose between these experiences or campaign type technologies. So meanwhile, what we've seen is that, and I have a chart for this too that I'll put on screen for people listening, but you can see in the data that in 2022, it was very either or. People were using either shopping or PMax, but and that changed a lot during the adoption phase of PMax, where PMax gained a lot of market share, but steadily over the years, hybrid setups have become more popular. And Yeah.
And the cost share of standard shopping is slightly increasing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going away, at least. That's
Yeah.
what we can say.
Basically, PMax is losing cost share.
Mhm.
Yeah. So shopping is having a bit of a revival right now. And but back to the core myth, like, is it an either or decision? I mean, the fact is that they don't play perfectly nice together, but that's why you need to have a managed strategy in place. You need to have a strategy, what you're doing and why. Am I going to advertise products in both technologies? If so, how am I going to make that work? Am I going to choose this for that? Like, what am I going to do? And so that's where we are now.
Can you come up with an example, a prototypical example where these two technologies are dancing rather perfectly together?
I mean, I think one of the most kind of clear-cut examples that you can do is, let's say you want to exclude brand traffic from PMax, and you want to pick that up with standard shopping. That was this brand catcher strategy for a while. But now there are more kind of proper controls in place. I think that's still a strategy that makes perfect sense because there's always details in here, but there's a query differentiation because you can advertise the same products in both, but you have a differing query strategy there, or like which search terms you want to appear for, which kind of intent you want to appear for. That's one. People will do something like putting bestsellers or social ones that do really well on social media where they've got strong assets. They might do those in PMax because they have the assets. Let's say the products are profitable enough to justify the remarketing that occurs. All the things that are in PMax, that can make sense. Then you might have other products where it's like, this thing doesn't need to be in PMax. I don't have good assets for this, or it's not profitable for me enough to justify. I don't want to spend remarketing on this, that kind of thing. So these are all the different, there's a million different strategies, but it's important that you understand that these are like, it's a sibling rivalry. They're like brothers or sisters who don't quite get along, but they can play nicely together. You just need to manage it.
3 days a week. At least that's with my two boys.
3 days.
3 days a week. They're nice to each other. The little one now for 15 months, he starts to throw some punches at the big one. But when they play nicely together, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's what you should be aiming for, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And now I can go work on something else.
No, but I think the statement is it's not an either or. I think it's even, like you said, it's even advocated by Google, which should be a clear sign. And there are strong use cases if you do it the right way that you can boost your performance by utilizing both technology.
And I think, from my standpoint, I'm pretty neutral about if you do or do not do this. I think you need to have a use case in mind. There needs to be a business reason why you're doing this. You're introducing an additional level of complexity to your account. So there just has to be a reason why, a strategy, and you're good. There are tactics that you'll deploy. But that's something that I think we're going to see that trend just increasing this year.
I think so, for sure.
There's no reason. It's been increasing, and I think it will continue to do so.
For sure. And ladies and gentlemen, you probably saw or listened or heard that we are rather neutral on this. There's not that much emotion involved. We wanted to answer the podcast on a rather calm note, but it's an important one.
Yes.
And done right, it can really have a massive impact on your performance. Myth 1 and 2. Margin split and the zombie hero approach. We are rather bold on that. But this one, I think it's a great thing to also look out for how it is developing this year. And again, we see it more and more that clients are actively also asking for it.
Exactly.
What strategies can be implemented with a hybrid approach? So it's fascinating. And honestly, I'm still attached to standard shopping a bit. It's for me the OG channel.
The thing I
love it.
I've said this dozens of times over the past few years. Standard shopping isn't broken.
No,
standard shopping still works.
So
yeah,
love to see it still.
But we're out of time for today. So the other couple myths, maybe we can pack them in another episode.
Let's go for it.
Let's try it out. But in the meanwhile, We'll send it off.
Outro time. No, man, I did one. By the way, I did the intro last year, right? Last episode.
Yeah.
Once a year?
I think so. Yeah, once a year.
So I do another massive commitment. I'm up for another one intro this year.
All right. 2026 goals.
Exactly. Maybe I 2x and do 2 intros this year, but let's see.
All right. I'm going to hold you to it.
Yeah.
All right. So, thanks for listening, everyone. This has been another episode of Growing E-commerce, brought to you by Smarter E-commerce, also known as SMEC. You can learn more at smarter-ecommerce.com. And as always, if you feel like leaving us a review or a rating on your podcast platform of choice, we really appreciate us. Give us a shout out on social media. We're friendly. We don't bite. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thanks,
Chris.
Bye-bye.